Hello, and welcome to my second blog titled Good Enough. So, last year, one of my students wrote the following poem in response to the quote, "Pretty is just another word. There are so many adjectives to describe ourselves that we shouldn't be so focused on just one." And here's the poem she wrote. Pretty can be a decision or a description. Wounded women and children focus on being pretty instead of beautiful. Guys rate us an 8, and we question whether we're great or will die without a mate. We think it's too late to change. Most women fail to realize that our beauty isn't based on a rate. It's based on our inner being and what we're seeing and believing. Understand there's no deceiving, we dreaming. Close your eyes, take away the knife, and replace it with life. And the moment she read this poem out loud to me, I was absolutely floored. I was so impressed with her ability to begin to dissect all of the pressures teen girls and women face to try to be beautiful. So, over the next few blogs, I'm going to begin to break down some of the key elements she discusses in this poem. But today, I am focusing on our obsession with trying to be pretty in order to validate that we are good enough and that we are worthy of affection. For example, let's go ahead and take a look at this magazine cover, Women's Health. We would assume this is mostly going to be about health. Let's go ahead and look at some of the headlines. All right, the top one, instant motivation. Weight loss tricks from real women. Not quite health. Second one, bikini body in 2 weeks. Tight butt, lean leg, and these abs. Not health. Next one, Gwyneth, crazy fit and totally uncensored. Kind of health, but all looks focused and nothing about her achievements. 30 power foods, so yummy, so slimming. Why add in so slimming, not so good for you or so good? And finally, my personal favorite, look like a boss. Best makeup for work. Again, nothing about the stressors of being a female boss at work or how do you ace an interview so you become a female boss. It's all about how do you look. So most of this is looks focused, encouraging women to be beautiful, skinny, pretty, not healthy. According to them, this is what we have to do in order to be good enough. Girls get the message from the media that we are not desirable, we are not worthwhile if we are not pretty. If you look at TV shows, pop songs, rap songs, movies, ads, etc., we're told that our biggest asset is what we look like. And apparently, this is what matters most about us, our looks. And when we can't measure up to these nearly impossible standards, we feel self-hate, shame, competition, and that we will never be good enough. So what does this result in? Depression, body shame, eating disorders, and something called habitual body monitoring. Basically, this is when you adjust your appearance or look in the mirror, and the average woman does this every 30 seconds. And so how we look and managing our appearance takes up the majority of our mental space, which could instead be used on things like homework, tests, having conversations with someone, or setting goals. This also leads to lower self-esteem, lower GPAs, as well as less of a belief that you have a voice in politics and less of an ability to get along with other women and form good and close relationships with them. So, what can you do? Number one, notice the messages in ads, TV shows, and songs. When you can notice these messages, then they don't have the same unconscious impact on you. And then that intense pressure you may be feeling to be pretty begins to subside because you know that that's not the only thing that determines a woman's worth. As well as those unconscious messages no longer control what you think, and then you can choose what you want to believe in, as well as what standards you want to hold yourself to. And number two, notice when you're worried about your looks or when you're down on yourself about your looks. And in that moment, give yourself some kindness and some compassion. Know that your worth is not based on your looks and that you are good enough just as you are. And you don't need to wear makeup or a tight dress to get someone's love and affection just because an ad or a music video told you to do that. Now, parents, you are powerful too. So one, teach your daughter to value herself for who she is rather than how she looks. And you can also advocate for change among manufacturers and media executives or producers. Number 2, watch TV shows and movies with your daughter. Listen to the music that she likes. Also, browse the website she likes and ask questions like, why is she wearing that? What message does that send? And what could they have done differently? And number 3, tell your daughter that you're proud of her and that you love her. There's a lot more to be said about this topic, as well as a lot of different layers to it, such as Photoshop and the underrepresentation of women of color in TV and film. But if you want more information, I invite you to watch the documentary, Misrepresentation, or the TED Talk by Caroline Heldman called The Sexy Lie. In the end, know that you are so worthy of love and affection, regardless of your looks. You are good enough, period. Like the poem says, most women fail to realize that our beauty isn't based on a rate. It's based on our inner being and what we're seeing and believing. Understand there's no deceiving, we ain't dreaming. Close your eyes, take away the knife, and replace it with life. Much love, Chandra.